May I just say, I'm not sure that everybody in this room is very familiar with the concept of IDPs and refugees and differences in definition and in legal definition. And if I just may say something which does apply very much to the case you're describing, and in other cases too. Whereas I'm not a legal expert, but working with displacement makes you want to understand what's the legal context and framework. There is a body of international instruments dealing with refugees, i.e. with people who have crossed international boundaries, and to which the international community commits to providing assistance and protection. The notion of protection is essential. The protection that the state of origin of these people cannot provide to them anymore, since they have crossed the boundaries. And the concept of sovereignty is very important also in this. Now, there is no body of international text that deals with internally displaced, because, again, this is an issue of national sovereignty. I mean, at least in international law. So whereas there is a whole international regime and system and international specialized agencies, particularly the UNHCR, that have been developed to deal with refugees, there is nothing similar for IDPs. And it's very much ad hoc arrangements which are put in place to provide assistance and even protection, because in many cases, the state of origin of the displaced cannot provide protection to these people. But it's always very critical to deal with this issue of, the sovereignty of the state of origin and providing international protection and assistance within the boundary of that state. So IDP do have specific vulnerabilities and needs because they do not fall under the protection of international law and the international community also.
I think we have time for one last question. Right here, please.
Hi, this question is for Dr. Chatelard. And you mentioned that Iraq has a long history of producing migration and refugee outflows to other neighboring countries, mostly Iran, but of course a number went to Jordan, especially during the Gulf War, and to a lesser extent Syria. I'm wondering if you've seen a shift in the kind of services and in kind of, I think you call it the Arab regime response that they provide, pre-2003 or even maybe 2006 until now, and what accounts for the shift in their response to these migrants and refugees?
I have a very provocative theory which doesn't please international actors or host states or academics who have done research
Let's
on
hear
the...
it. We'll like
which is that, first of all, the volume of refugees post-2003 is not larger than the volume of refugees that have gone to Iran in previous decades. And that the numbers have been grossly inflated of refugees crossing borders for a variety of reasons I will not detail here. But my theory is even more provocative. There is a claim by international humanitarian actors that their operations in neighboring countries like Syria and Jordan is what has prompted these countries to improve their assistance and protection to Iraqis. And I claim that this is not the truth, because the system and the assistance that has been offered to Iraqis on the basis of being Arab nationals was there and was already open and offered to them before international humanitarian actors moved into providing assistance and funding to these countries. The biggest change, in my view, is that the visibility of the Iraqi refugee crisis post-2006, because it started being very visible as of 2007, even prompted major host countries like Syria, Jordan, but also Egypt to restrict access to their territories from the part of Iraqis. Now this is changing again, this is slowly being reverted, but lots of visibility very huge numbers that were used by host countries and by the international community uncritically forced host countries to close their borders because they had to account to their own population. They couldn't claim in the same time that they had 1 million Iraqi refugees on their soil and not close the border. So, you know, for me, this is the main thing which happened, but not that there was a big shift in the type of assistance and the system of hosting Iraqis has not changed tremendously in recent years.
Just to clarify, it's true then that Jordan was providing access to primary and secondary education pre-2003?
Absolutely, and I closed it. And I have, having worked specifically on the presence of Iraqis in Jordan since the late 1990s, where there were already a large community of people fleeing in the embargo, but also fleeing breaches of human rights by the regime of Saddam. I have newspaper clippings from the time showing that the educational system was open to Iraqis, and it was never closed. So the claims by humanitarian actors that they are the ones who prompted the government of Jordan to open the school is not very grounded, I would say.
Well, great. Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate it, and that ends on a note that we'll certainly be able to follow up after the formal presentations are finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.